Okay, you've seen how to view files in a library. Now it's time to actually get some work done and learn how to edit files in a document library. It's similar to viewing in that you have two ways of editing files. You can edit files in the browser, or you can edit files in a program. Let's start with editing in the browser. You edit in the browser when you need to make quick, relatively light changes to a file. So for example, I'm going to take this Word document here, click this arrow, and then click Edit in Browser. The Word web app opens the file, and let's make some changes here. Let's call this the 2012 Sales Plan. We'll give it a heading 1, and we'll underline it for some more emphasis. Let's also add an image here. Go to the Insert tab, click Picture, find an image, and there we go. So you get the idea. Quick, relatively light changes. When you're done, you click Save. Now let's show you an example in Excel. So we'll go to this file here, we'll click Edit in Browser, and we can make some quick changes to this file very easily. We'll add some data in here. And in the Excel web app, you can do quite a lot. Let's do a formula here and total all of these numbers. You can also format cells. We'll do that in currency. Now here's something interesting. When I'm editing in the Excel web app, I don't have a Save button. And that's because the Excel web app saves your changes automatically for you. And you might be thinking, well, what does that mean exactly? Well, I'll explain that in just a little bit. So we've edited in Word, we've edited in Excel. It's also good to know that you can also edit a PowerPoint presentation in the browser, and you can also edit a OneNote file in the browser. Here's just a quick note about saving in the web apps. As you saw in the Word web app, you did have a Save button right up here. But in the other web apps, you don't have a Save button. For example, here's this Excel file. We'll edit in Browser. And there's no Save button. And if you go to the File menu, you'll see this Save As command. That's not the same thing. That will save the workbook under a new name. It won't simply save changes to an existing file. And here's this Where's the Save button. If you click that, it'll just tell you. In the Excel web app, there is no Save button because your workbook is being saved automatically. What does that mean, automatically? In the Excel web app, while you are editing the file, the web app saves for you every 2 minutes. For the PowerPoint web app, the web app saves for you every 30 seconds. And in the OneNote web app, every minute. Now, these web apps may save more frequently if you are co-authoring with someone else, but if it's just you working on the file, then these are the save times. However, you don't really have to remember these save times because the web apps will also save automatically when you close the window or click a link to another place. So for example, here I am in the Excel web app, and if I closed this browser window, or if I clicked a link to somewhere else, that click does two things. One, it saves my work, and then two, it takes me to the other place. Or if I was closing the window, it would close the window. Now there may be times when the save doesn't happen fast enough, or if you don't commit your changes. So for example, I'm going to type 100,000 in here. And I'm not going to press enter yet. I'm just going to click a link to somewhere else. And it will warn me, are you sure you want to navigate away from this page? If you exit, you will lose all of your changes. Press OK to continue or cancel to stay on the page. If you press cancel, it'll actually commit it for you, which is kind of convenient. And then you can go on your merry way. Click a link, and sure enough, clicking that link did save that 100,000 in that cell. And we'll go back and prove that here. And there's 100,000. So that's how the automatic saving works in the Excel, PowerPoint, and OneNote web apps. Now let's show you the other way to edit an Office file in a program. Why would you want to edit a file in a program? Well, you may have guessed it. It's because not everything is available when editing in the web app. So for example, let's edit this Word file in the browser. And you remember we put this image in earlier in the course. Now I want to resize this. So I'll select it, and I'm used to seeing these corner resize handles here where I can click and drag to make this image larger or smaller. Looks like I cannot do that. I have this Format tab here, and I guess I can use these grow and shrink buttons or use this scale box here. But if I want to visually resize this, I cannot do that right now. And the other thing that can happen, certain things are unable to display properly. For example, it looks like down here we have a placeholder for a text box. Or it could actually be word art. Unfortunately, at the moment, the Word web app simply cannot display that item when editing the file. So that's one thing we can't see, and we can't see and use these resize corner handles. So if we're lacking functionality, we can open it in the program to get what we want. So I'll go to the File menu and click Open in Word. Click OK. Word opens, and there we go. We have our corner resize handles back. And down here, we can see that our word art text box appears just fine, and we can edit that if we need to. Of course, when we save our file, the changes get saved up to the library. And that's editing a file in the Word program. Now the same thing goes for the Excel web app. Let's edit this spreadsheet here. We'll do so in the browser. And here in the Excel web app, we can do all sorts of great things. But what if we want to generate a pivot table? We have all sorts of formatting options and other features available, but I don't see pivot table here. In fact, if I click the Insert tab, I see table but not pivot table, so that's not what we need. How can I insert a pivot table? Well, I can open it in the Excel program. So to do that, you just go to File, Open in Excel, click OK. And now that we're in Excel, we can select our data, insert a pivot table real quick here, add our fields, and there we go. And the same thing goes for the other web apps, PowerPoint and OneNote. They are both editable in the browser, but if there's something missing, like the ability to insert animations in PowerPoint or use the drawing tools in OneNote, then edit in the program. Coming up, we'll show you some tips for working with document libraries.